The Hunt, Part 1. Tucker and Destiny had just moved to the small town of Grace, Oregon from New York City. It was a huge adjustment. They were both graphics designers and able to work from home, so when they decided that it was just too much hustle and bustle living in the big city, they literally opened an atlas, thumbed through the states they'd consider moving to, narrowed those down, then closed their eyes and had Destiny place her finger on the map. And Grace, Oregon it was. The population was about 100,000. Not too small, certainly not too big, and they found a home right away to rent in a lovely community, with room for their dog Albany to run and play. There was a fantastic view of the surrounding pines, and much more space than they could have hoped for in New York. They'd been there for just a few days when neighbors began dropping by with gifts of food and wine. They also brought restaurant, coffee bar, and shopping suggestions. Tucker and Destiny loved that they lived somewhere that neighbors were actually neighborly. "It's just like a Hallmark movie," said Destiny gleefully. Eventually they began to make friends from their neighborhood and to spend a lot of time out socially with their new group. Doug and Ann were their home's owners. So far, they seemed like wonderful landlords. They were in their 30s. No children yet. And they both worked in media. Then there was Daphne and Kevin, also late 30s. They had one child, Conrad. Kevin was a police officer and Daphne was a nurse. Then there was Devin and Khaki. He was a dentist and she stayed at home and worked as an environmentalist. Finally, there was Ellis and Bethany. Ellis owned a sporting goods store and Bethany taught rock climbing. They were an interesting and diverse group, which Tucker and Destiny had also loved about New York. Every weekend there was things to do. Barbecues, lake houses, dining out, game nights, wine tasting, hikes. And Tuck and Destiny were so happy they'd made the move. They knew that they'd done the right thing. Occasionally someone would bring up the names of the people who used to live in Tuck and Destiny's home, but it always seemed like more of an accident, and the friends would quickly change the subject. The previous owners were Kim and John Sutton. Apparently there had been an accident of some sort and John had passed away, but they hadn't heard what had become of Kim. In fact, Tuck and Destiny didn't have any real details about what had happened at all, just that the group wasn't fond of speaking about it. Destiny assumed that they must have been close to the couple, and that it was a painful subject. Life was working out well, and as the holiday season was approaching, Tuck and Destiny's friends asked if they wanted to go to the cabin for the weekend break, maybe for Thanksgiving, and possibly do some hunting. Tuck had never hunted before and told them so, but they assured him that it was easy enough and he'd pick it up. Tuck and Destiny each didn't have family. Both had been only children, and both had lost their parents. It was out of their comfort zone to go hunting, but they decided that it wouldn't hurt to get out of their comfort zone a bit, spend the holidays with their new friend family. The women were busy getting things packed, and Destiny put herself to work helping them. They went shopping for the food, packed card games, blankets, extra sheets. They brought plenty of wine, and Destiny was now very excited. Her expectations grew, and she thought that during the daytime hours the women would have time together, and at night the friends could spend the evenings getting to know each other and having wonderful conversations. It sounded lovely. The men all had extra clothing, hats, camo, bright vests, etc. for Tuck to use, so that he didn't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff just in case he didn't enjoy it, they had said. They would also supply the rifle as well. Bright and early on Tuesday morning they all piled into their vehicles, and Tuck and Destiny rode with Doug and Ann. It was just a 2-hour drive, and because they were talking so much it seemed to fly by. And before they knew it, they were at the cabin. It was beautiful. An old log cabin that had been refurbished, and really looked like it belonged on a postcard. There was a wraparound porch with a swing. The property was covered with pine trees, and they just had a dusting of snow on them, and the air smelled fresh and beautiful. Everyone began to unpack, and the inside was just as lovely as the outside. Anne told Destiny that she'd hired an interior decorator to help her, but that each piece in the home had been hand-picked by her. The centerpiece of the home was the 11-foot-high rock fireplace and pine mantel. The guys immediately set about getting a fire started. After dinner the wine was flowing and the laughter was contagious. Eventually, Destiny and Tuck both became very tired. "Must be the fresh air," they all said. Tuck figured maybe it was just the altitude. Whatever the reason, the two stumbled into bed. "Sleep well! See you bright and early!" Bing hollered after them. Suddenly there was a loud noise. The bedroom door opening, its handle slammed into the wall. Flashlights pointing everywhere. Voices. "Get up! I said move!" The covers being ripped off the bed. Doug, Devin, and Ellis dragging Tucker off the mattress, and he fell onto the cold wood floor. Tucker stammered. What's going on?" "It's hunting day!" yelled Ellis. Destiny found herself yanked by the arm. "Here, put this on," says Khaki, and she hands her pants and a sweatshirt, a jacket, shoes, and boots. "What?" asks Destiny, confused. "You're going too," said Khaki. "Now hurry up." Her voice was harsh. Tucker was getting dressed. They can't see much because the flashlights are in their eyes and it's disorienting them. "Khaki," starts Destiny. "I thought we were staying here." She was cut off. "No, the women stay here. Today, you're the prey." "What the fuck?" asked Tucker, clearly confused and becoming angry. "Yeah, Tuck," starts Doug. "You're the prey. Did we forget to mention that part?" "My bad," he said flippantly. The crowd stands Tucker and Destiny up. Someone has each one of their arms pinned behind their backs. They walk them to the front porch. The cabin smells of coffee, eggs, and bacon. "You two are going to miss breakfast," scowls Ellis. And he hands them a pack. "Here you go. Protein bars, water, dried fruit. That'll get you through the day. At least, if you're lucky." Then Destiny is pushed down the porch stairs. She lands on her hands and knees. Tucker brings his arm back to swing at Kevin, but a rifle is pointed at his head. "Now, come on, Tuck," says Devin. "You don't want this to end so soon, do you? Or to have your pretty little wife have to do this alone?" "What are you talking about?" growls Tucker. Destiny is squinting. She's trying to see the porch, and from what she can tell, everyone is standing there. She's counting sets of legs because she can barely make out the figures otherwise. "We're hunting, Tuck," says Doug. "See, it starts off with the prey taking the bait, and, in your case, it's the rental house. We just cannot seem to get people to stay in that thing for more than a year, can we, Ann?" "Nope. They always just up and leave. God knows where they go. Of course, we do file a missing persons report. Cops say we have the worst luck ever. Nothing but deadbeats these days." The group laughs, and Tucker is pushed down the stairs. His knee hits the bottom stair, and he grunts in pain. Ellis starts. "Here's the way this works. You two will get, an hour or so head start while we eat breakfast. And then it's game on. The hunt begins." "Wait. Just wait," says Tucker. "You guys are screwing with us, right? You don't hunt people, right? Ha ha, funny joke." "Breakfast is ready," says Daphne. "No, Tuck. You'd better start to grapple with this real quick. You only have an hour or so head start." Then a gunshot fires into the air.